up, guys? I had an interesting conversation yesterday with a gentleman, and I was telling him how you can become the bank, how you can become the bank. And basically, that's what our affordable housing program is kind of structured around. We buy houses and we sell them to individuals on affordable terms. And you, the investor, become the bank. It's like 3 wins in this example. But the first thing you have to believe in order for this to work for you, you could do a quick little analogy here. Say if an individual had a choice to pay $700 in rent versus paying $700 for ownership. Usually, if a person had the choice between paying $700 in rent versus paying $700 to own the property, they would choose ownership. So what we do is we structure the houses where people can afford them. So say, for example, based off your income and everything, you can afford a $700 rent payment. We would structure where you would pay $700 a month. That'll be including the taxes and the insurance. You'll be paying $700 a month for home ownership. It's an excellent program. And just think, it's a lot of generations out there where the grandparents rented the properties. They never bought a home. The parents rent properties and they never bought a home. And then you have these kids that's being raised and they're looking at their role models in their houses and they think a home ownership is probably like a fantasy. You know what I mean? So you showing people by allowing them to buy houses, and you help change the generations to come, because now they can look up and say, hey, someday I can own a home. My mom was able to buy a home. My dad was able to buy a home, so I can buy a home too. Then another thing too, statistics show that people that are raised in houses where the parents own the home, just more of a stable environment. It's just an all around beautiful thing, the American dream, to be able to own your home someday. And that's what we out here doing, helping people buy houses, regardless of the credit situation, where so many people are telling them no. We're outlining a path where they can follow these steps in order to own a home. It's really nice. So the one thing that you have to believe in, though, is that most people would rather own a home. If they were paying the same amount of money, they would rather own a home versus just renting. And how we do this is as follows. What we do, we got a lot of different ways of buying the houses. You want to get more into that, if you're an investor, you want to get more into that, you can go to REI Simple 2021. I got a program where I only charge $40 a month that'll show you how to get started in being the bank. So, like as I outlined, it's a win for the family, buying a house. They get to achieve the American dream of buying a home. Now, the investor, or in this example, I call the banker, right? The banker or the investor, he is selling the house to the tenant buyers, or to the buyers. Sometimes you call them tenant buyers, sometimes we just call them just regular buyers, because eventually they're going to buy the house, if not buying it outright. So one thing we do is a stair step, depending on where they at as far as the down payment and the income situation. We may start them off at a rental level, or we start them off like at a lease option, or my favorite strategy is the land contract situation. And once they improve their credit, they can go and get finance and buy the house traditionally, or you can change the interest rate and they can continue to work with you on that path of home ownership. But anyway, the banker, and the reason why I use the term the banker, because in this scenario, when you selling the houses to these individuals, just like a Wells Fargo or a PNC Bank, they are responsible for the repairs and the upkeep. You're selling the house. So the individuals are buying the home. They're responsible for the repairs, the upkeep, the taxes, the insurance and whatnot. And you taking on the role of the banker. And if you look at it from all the investors out there, statistically, your biggest expense on income property is the repairs. Like, you have some months or maybe even have some years where you don't even have too many repairs. But your biggest expense over time is the repairs. But by you being in the banker, you know, Wells Fargo and PNC Bank, they don't have repairs, right? Only thing they get is those monthly checks. As you can see in those other videos, I talk about the monthly checks. So the banker buys the property. Then the banker sells the property on one of our strategies, right? So they selling the property to the buyer. Or it could be tenant buyer, but we just gonna say buyer right here. So be in the role of the banker. Then a person would ask the one question that a person might ask, you know, I want to be the banker, right? But I don't have any money. I don't have the credit to be the banker. And that's understandable. I was at that situation at one point in time, and that's why I designed that course to kind of show people how to do the business, that reisimple2021.com. But just going through an example right here, this is a business that you want to set up, and this is how we do it. We have situation over here. We just call this individuals. We just call this individuals. What we do is we structure agreement with individuals, and what they do, they fund the deals, and the individuals get paid a higher rate of interest on their money, but they fund the deals to allow the banker to do his business. So this person going to get paid a higher rate of return on their money. They fund the deal, fund the money to the banker so they can buy the properties. And actually, the way the flow goes, it actually won't go directly to the banker. It's going to go to the title company or the attorney, and then where all the paperwork and everything is you know, where all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. And then that allows the banker to do his business. And in return, this person gets paid a higher rate of return on their money. It's a beautiful concept. So, you know, the whole thing is that you don't have to have the money or the credit to get started. If that's your situation, if you have money and credit to get started, that's excellent. But if you don't have money or credit to get started, you just need the knowledge. You know, like I say, knowledge is power. Halfway true. Applied knowledge is power. Just knowing this stuff is cool, but using it is where it's at. You know, so it's not just to know the business, it's just to apply the business. You know what I mean? And what you have is 3 wins. You have the win over here for these individuals who have their money sitting around, not making too much interest on it. You have the win here for the buyer. They get to experience the American dream of home ownership. And then you have the win here for the banker. You know, the investor that's now the banker. They don't have to worry about all these late night calls with the repairs, the toilets, you know, the toilets backed up, windows being broken out and things like that. They're the banker. They're getting the monthly checks. You want some more information about this process? Go to reisimple2021.com, reisimple2021.com. My name is Armand. It's an excellent program. I only charge people $40 a month. This business has been great to me. I want to impact as many people as possible. Talk soon.